Hello everybody, welcome back to another video inside of Minecraft. And today we are on the Foundation server for episode 13. Cool. In the last episode, we built this entire section. All of these 4 houses, all the ground area, dug this whole area out. Built like the 2 other houses back here, built the walls, and got a bit of the wall coming across the back. However, I'm not going to work on this episode. I've got some other stuff that needs to be done this episode. A lot of stuff that needs to be done this episode. So I figured we may as well try and work on it. So to start that, I've went to I don't even know what they're called, a trial chamber. And got some of the oxidized green stuff, oxidized copper. So I can put that in now. I've probably got enough. I think I've done that second floor actually. But I've got enough for the 3rd floor now. So I can go and put some up there and finish off this tower. So let's go and start by doing that. Just saw Deal's name somewhere. Where is he? I swear he was in here. Did you walk around the side? He is here. Did he kill something? I'm not letting him know that I'm sneaking up on him. Don't know where Deal is. This is definitely Lovedust. There is no question without a doubt this is Lovedust. This has got all the staples of a classic Lovedust interior. And it looks amazing. This is a really cool idea. This in the barrel? Ah, stuff like that. Yeah, this is really cool. Got a nice view of the cathedral, which is probably the best view out of the window. Soon you'll have a nice view of the roof of that. Yeah, this is a good spot. And this is a really cool room. So thanks, Lovedust. I will fix this floor. These tuned to anything? No. Oh, they won't play. Anyhow, the copper is in the top floor. So I'll just use this and fly around. And you can see, yeah, the copper's all in. Top floor looks cool. Definitely helps with making the tower actually look solid. Before it looked quite see-through. And I reckon there was a spot earlier over there where the entire city is in fog, and I think that's going to help a lot. Oh my gosh. Is Brit done a sign up here as well? Buy my eggs. Oh my gosh. He has put these signs everywhere. They weren't just in there. All down this, that like thing, there's buying his eggs. All throughout here, there's buy his eggs. The park really wants to buy his eggs. Anyway, here's that view from over here. As you can see, the city looks really cool. You can actually sort of see everything. It's in fog, so it actually looks more detailed. Yeah, that just looks so cool. Now that's a nice skyline of a city if I've ever seen one. Those houses that I've put in last episode really are helping with this. So a couple of episodes back, we built this tree. And there is a reason why I built it. It's mostly to test it out, see how long it actually takes to build in survival. A lot longer than I thought, so I'm not going to be building another loads of that. But I was planning to build more trees, and I still am. Because even more episodes back, we built this little area over here, which has some trees. It needs some more placed in. I keep getting to get around to doing them, but I will eventually. Like, this area needs a couple more trees, but it's still going to be quite open overall. But over there, that's not going to be as open. So I'm going to need some more trees. A lot of trees. A lot of tree designs that look different to those. This looks very autumny, but I don't want that side to be very autumny because the rest of the place isn't. So I want to try and make this more foresty, more like the trees that I've actually been building elsewhere. Because it's just these orange trees. I like the color of them when I built them. I like the design. I completely forgot to actually take into account whether they fit with the rest of the vibe of the city. Because a lot of these trees are quite bright and stuff, and these are just like orange. Like, yeah. Anyway, I'm not going to be building more of these autumny colored trees, but I will be building more colored trees like those with leaves, and like the big willow tree I built over there. Over here, I've been doing a lot of work between videos and in the background of videos, designing more trees to go over here. And I haven't just got a willow tree, I've got loads of designs. So let's go check those out in the creative test world. So this is the willow tree that I did build. I didn't put the candles under this when I designed it because I knew I was going to export it into a structure, or whatever it's called. I've got the design with the candles like underneath the little design of colors I was testing with, and that's right next to this, which is it without leaves. Now I do feel like building a couple of these on the server around the thing that Skelley's building, as that will fit the vibe a lot. So I've been trying to design a bunch of the ones that I do with stuff like this first, so it could be built like this, and then I could add leaves later on if I want to. But I've also want to start with adding leaves to the ones near the shore, because that's the bits that's most viewable from the city. So these are two more designs of the willow trees. So these are two more designs of the willow trees over here. Well, one which also has a 3 wide trunk like that one, but it's like a flipped version, and then I added another couple of branches in and changed some branches around. So it's pretty similar, but also slightly different. And then when I do the leaves, I can add variation like that as well. I can probably even do variation on the leaves I put onto that, and it will look different as well. And then I've got this one over here, which is an entirely different one that I made with a 2 wide trunk. So it's slightly thinner. I also made sure to have a massive gap here, so it looks cool when you walk below it. And I've made sure that stays when I do the leaves as well. So it's got this like little archway you can walk below. It feels like you can go down like a diagonal path down here. Because I'm thinking this could possibly hang over the path that I'm going to have going through the village, through to the village and other founders' bases. This is just another one of those that I designed. And as you can see, that's all the willow trees, and I have other trees designed. I've got this one here, which I can add more variation with different leaf types on them, which is what I was testing here. I've got different gradients of leaves seen here. I feel like the best one for this tree is possibly the jungle, then oak, then birch. But I could mess with that a bunch and even possibly turn it into 2 types of leaves. But I've put loads of gradients of leaves here so I can see which one's best. I generally don't like the moss because it's too solid. This one's quite good if I want a darker tree, and so is if I just do those two or those two. That's quite good for trees like that. And so's this one, which is one that I use a lot in the trees over there. So these ones, this row, is basically all the same tree design. This all started from this, and then I do a first pass without the glass panes, so I can design it all and make sure the leaves actually look good themselves. And the glass panes are just used to enhance that to create the little anti-aliasing effect around the outside. Then I did another one, which is literally the same leaves. I just replaced them with oak and birch to make a birch tree, and replaced the trunk and everything with different colors. I've even used cherry fences because they work best with the other blocks, and it creates a very birchy tree. I mean, they look identical shape-wise, but they also look very different because they're different, like made of different things. Like this one has 3 leaves in it, but this only has 2. I really like that one. And then I made this one literally before I started recording. It's literally just a small little thing like this. But you can create so many different designs of trees from that. Like, this has been used for this one, which I just created a leaf design for it, and then added the glass panes like I did up there. I then tried replacing it with the spruce and birch. I didn't like this one as much. It might look better with a possibly darker like spout going up, so I could use deep slate or some other stone or something. And I've used glass panes, grey ones for this, because it looks slightly better and the green stands out too much. Then I've tried what I did over there, which is my first test before I made that one, with the oak and birch, and I really liked it. And I realized, while standing back, that I haven't actually got any other types of tree. I've only got like ones that use oak at the moment. So I decided I can make this birch, like the inner core, and just replace these with birch if I want to. But I can also have some oak trees that look like that. They're not oak, but ones that use oak. I guess this is spruce. And then this is literally the same, like walls and everything. There is no difference, except for that I placed the leaves differently. So it looks like a different tree. And that really helps a lot. You can use the same thing. So like I could use this and place the leaves different on it. It will look like an entirely different tree. You could even shorten that slightly, that top bit. Or even get rid of it and it will look different as well. So I've got that one and then this birch one and that as well, where I did birch and oak. There is a lot less jungle in this one, so it's more birchy, so it helps. This one could even work with spruce as well, possibly, if I keep the inside as birch, or even the darker ones, as I said. But I'm going to design a bunch more of these trees during this video, but I think we start placing some of these in on the server, just to try and start making that little forest over there. I've just got a message from Cole. He's dropped off more stuff. It was a picture of like 4 chests in front of this. So, yeah, they're right there. That's a lot of chests of stuff that he's given me at this point. This one with all the quartz in originally, then this one with quartz and mud. And then these 4 with quartz, I'd imagine? Yeah. And mud. Now that's useful, as I'd almost run out of this one. He's not online at the moment, but he is a legend. He is an absolute legend. I said this last time, so I'm going to refrain from going off on a tangent talking about how amazing he is again. But he is amazing. Go check out his channel. The link will be in the description, as usual. He is... yeah, this is a lot. Thank you so much, Cole. It's good that he's dropped the mud off as well, because I do need some mud. As I have realized, I have not built the paths yet over here. So I can't really start working on the rest of this until I've got paths in. So I guess we should start with the paths. At least for... I'll work out something to go up the hill here. Got a rough idea of like the direction of everything. It'll be quite easy. So it'll be quite easy to follow. I'll probably start with this bit going up to like here, and then maybe that one across the front up till there, where I'll create this little circle. I need to create some bench design to put here as well. Anyway, let's go do these paths by first digging them out. So I have dug out the paths for this section and this section. I've also done a lot of terraining, because I did not like how straight these sides were. I know Smurf dug about to make space here, so it was definitely helpful. So thank you, Smurf. But I've decided to actually make it look a bit natural. Well, as natural as I like it. More smooth than actual Minecraft terrain. And then I've just done that. And then I've also done this little loop around here, and I've left some grass in the middle. This is slightly thinner than like the normal path width of 5 blocks, but I've done it slightly thinner anyway, because this allows space to put like a little bench here, and it'll look quite nice. Alternatively, I do just remove this all and just put a little bench in the middle, but I'm not sure how I want to do the bench, so I'm going to leave it like that for now, because I like the idea of having grass here in the middle. I could just put a bench here to the side of it and have some tree or something in the middle of this. That could look quite nice as well. I guess it's time to start making these paths. Picking them out is not enough. I need to actually put the paths in. So that's using the same design as over here with the mossy cobblestone, the mud bricks, and jungle, and then also this rooted dirt. I've only got a bit of this so far. I've got 15. Because you have to grow azalea trees on dirt, and then mine the block below it, and you get 1 out of it. So I need to grow, this used like, I don't know, like a stack, so I need to grow 64 azalea trees just to get enough to do that section again. So for this whole section, it's going to use a lot more. So for right now, I'm going to use the 15 that I've got, which will probably cover up to like there, and maybe to there-ish, if that, maybe to there, just like this bottom section. At least a lot of this slope going up also has slabs in because it's a slope. So I can't really get slabbed rooted dirt, so that saves on that a little bit. Anyway, let's try and start this then. So that's the path in. So it's time to start building some trees. But this, yeah, I quite like this path. I originally didn't like it. I had this stick in a bit further out, and it was too wide of a swing round. So I shortened it up to make it 4 wide here, and only 4 wide here as well, which actually helped the path look a bit better. So I found out this path design doesn't work the best when it's 5 blocks wide all the time. You have to embrace the smaller, thinner bits. I think that's what works well here, is that this is 4 blocks wide, 4 blocks wide, 4 blocks wide, even though it is actually a 5 block wide path most of the time. It's between 4 and 5, not 5 and 6, like I was trying to do for the rest of this. So it makes it slightly nicer, and it turns out really nice. It does also very heavily rely on these. The rooted dirt, I tried it without, didn't look good, so I had to put them in. So I've had to try and farm a bunch more of them. It takes so long to do that. So I've only brought the path up to the top of here for now. But it means this front area is done, at least. So there's the nice view from down here of where the 2 paths will go. So yeah, as I said, time to put in the trees. So let's start with one of the trees, probably over here, in the middle of this. I think that'll be a good spot for a tree. That's the first tree done. So this is the one design that I did for the smallest ones. So I'm just going to do this again, somewhere over here-ish or something, but I'll rotate it around so it looks slightly different from over there, so it doesn't just look like the same skyline. So I'll probably put that, I don't know, like here or something, or possibly over on this side of the path. Second tree done. This area's really coming together now. Looking at it from back here, it starts to feel a bit like an actual place, rather than just a barren landscape. I mean, it is only 2 trees, but it helps a lot. So I'm thinking I'll do another one of these trees, another rotation, up here somewhere. Up back a bit, so it's slightly covered by the hill from the bottom, but still creating a bit of the skyline. I have built another tree. Actually, I have built 2 trees. That's the same as those 2, just in a different spot, and a different rotation. But this is a different one entirely. It's the same inner structure for branches. It's just I've put the leaves on differently compared to the other ones, so it results in a different tree overall. So it looks wildly different to those. Like, you could see that in the creative copy a second ago. But I'm going to place another couple of these ones around, and then also go and create a couple of these ones with the birch interior, which is actually just diorite, but it looks like birch. And I'll just do those around here-ish, possibly a couple up the front as well, just to create some variety. And that's another 2 trees over there, one of which, as you might be able to see, is a birch one. So we've got the little diorite stuff, and then the cherry fences, because that's as white as I can get. So yeah, I quite like the birch ones. They seem nice. It doesn't look too different in this biome compared to the actual oak ones, even though they are very clearly different textures and colours. And then I've had another one of these ones, which is a type like that one, I think. I can't remember. So we've got 2 styles of tree here so far. One with different like colours. So I'm going to do another one of another design that I've just made, which is a block taller than that one. So like this one's 17 blocks tall, I think, and then that's 18, the next one's 19. And I've got another design as well, which is 20 blocks, and then I've got a design that's 28 blocks, so it's a bit of a jump, but that's the big one made out of birch. So I'll probably do one of the big ones out of birch up here. Maybe one down here, actually, down there, and then one up there might be better. Putting a big one here seems like a good spot. But I want to try and put some more stuff across this front line, which looks different to those. Because at the moment, it's looking very similar. It doesn't look I mean, it looks good, but it doesn't look the best from over here. It just looks like a bunch of the same tree. So it'd be useful to add some different trees into that. So I've got another 2 trees in. I've got that one and that one, which use the azalea leaves. They're slightly taller than the rest, so this goes up to like 79, this goes up to 77, and yeah. They're different heights, so it creates a nice difference between those 2. They are disaligned, but from over there it looks like they're aligned. And this one... oh, I have actually aligned it with this one accidentally. Oh. That looks a bit weird. I was trying to make sure it wasn't too close to this, so I kept moving it back a block. I clearly just aligned it with this. That's a shame. I guess I'll have to put something here and some bushes and stuff in the way to make it so it's less obvious. But at least this road's at a diagonal, so it's less obvious anyway. I'm going to put more across the front eventually, but for right now, I've got those 2 in, so I think I am going to build one of the big trees. We have 1 tall tree in, and a second one over there, which creates a good like height difference between the trees. Like comparing this one to this one, very big height difference, but this takes up more space, so it kind of makes sense. And it kind of feels a bit more like a forest now with these in there. I'll just come away slightly so you can see. Yeah, like that's a massive height difference compared to that one. It towers above the trees over here, which creates a nice little difference. And we're going to do another little difference now. I've got an armor stand in my hand, and that's because I have a structurer set up for a new type of tree that I designed, which is based off a maple tree. It isn't a maple tree, it's because it doesn't look very much like a maple tree when I put the leaves on, but the branches were originally designed to be a maple tree. But that's this one here. It took a bit of a while to find somewhere where I could put the armor stand so it looks nice. This is why I do it as structurer first for these trees, so I can make them put them somewhere which looks nice. And also with the horse, for example, I can actually go underneath it. So I've done extensive testing to make sure I can go underneath this while riding the horse. But the whole point of me putting this here, so you can't see the cathedral, which you can barely see through this. And then when you come under here, you have the amazing view. But let's build this tree. It's a bigger tree, a wider tree. Adds another type of tree to this area, because this is like tall and narrow. This is about the same height, but wider. I think it's 21 blocks, actually. So it's a nice increase in height, but also increase in width, so it takes up a larger area, which looks really cool. It's going to fill up this gap, so it doesn't really look like it's empty space behind there anymore. I'll have to put something else like here-ish or something, probably one of the smaller thinner trees like I've got over there, just to try and add some biodiversity to the Minecraft forest. Gotta be realistic. Anyway, let's build this tree. And now that tree is in. And it definitely looks cool. You can walk underneath it, as I was saying before. The horse gets a little nudge if you walk too close to this, but you can still walk past it. You won't suffocate anyway, like the player won't, because the leaves, so you can still go through it. There's not much light coming in through the center, but there's a little bit, but it's quite dense. I think like this is like maybe the only gap through the entire thing, and I've put glass over it as well to do the anti-aliasing method around the top. You can't really see any from here. Oh, you can. Right there. And right there. There's quite a bit on here. It's just we're not really that noticeable because it works well with the leaves. This is a darker leaf as well because I've used the mangrove and jungle rather than like the open jungle like this. So it creates a bit of a darker colour to the area as well, while still being green. So like this is probably the darkest one we've got, and then we've got mangrove, which is also a denser, darker. So it creates different biodiversity in the types of leaves as well. So each tree looks different. But that tree looks really cool from over here. From over here you can see it kind of, well, it sort of blends in, but it adds something wider. It covers the path slightly, which is amazing. So it creates this really nice view from down here of like a little archway into the woods. It feels really like close and overwhelming, but also that's kind of the point. And it feels really nice. So once I've got more trees actually here, which I will do at some point, hopefully. Obviously we've got the building up here which will be built at some point, hopefully, which is going to have these trees around it, but it's also around this building is mostly going to go into leafless trees, like the willow tree we've got over there, and maybe some of these without leaves as well, just to try and create a darker but also like dead aesthetic sort of around that. But I want to make a woods, so that's why I did this here. And there is that darker tree in. As you can see, it uses spruce, which is darkest leaf here, or probably the darkest leaf in the game. So it's definitely darker than the other trees. But it's also got this like little curve to the trunk. It's not as visible up close, but if I go back a little bit, you can start to see like the little curve, and it just looks so nice. You can just imagine this as a lone tree upon some hill in the wind, with fields of crops or hay or something. Hare's crop. Fields of hay around it. Or like even just fields of grass. Just imagine that. It'd be really nice. Anyway, that's this tree in to the area. It is turning night, so I'm going to keep going quickly. So I'm going to build another couple of trees. Probably to fill this gap here, because this is like a big empty gap over there. It looks a bit weird. But yeah, I need to do something to fill this gap. Probably another big tree like that, maybe like an oak one though, instead. So let's do that. So I'm over here at the shopping district, because there are new tasks here. And I've had a look through them all before recording, and I really like the look of this one, which is business. So this says I should open a business in the shopping district. The business should not sell an item, but a service instead. So I have an idea for this, as I've been thinking about opening it for a while. And this is like the perfect opportunity to do it. My business idea is to build a landscaping service, which ties in very well with everything else done in this video, as we've been placing loads of trees and landscaping. But I'll be doing, hopefully, a service for that. So I'm going to design a building and get this done. Yeah, this is going to be really cool, having a little business open over here in the shopping district, because we don't have any of that stuff yet. But it'll be cool to have one over here that is a nice little landscaping thing, because I've been missing out on a lot of landscaping recently. I've done a little bit over at the city, but it's a city, so there isn't much. It's mostly just getting rid of dirt. But landscaping could include stuff like terraforming, like how I did around the town hall, because all of this, if I just break a block or multiple, all of this is my terraforming. Like this entire, I don't have dirt to get out of this again. Oh, I do. Perfect. But yeah, I terraformed this whole area, so this is very much an example of how good my terraforming is. It's probably not the best, I could do better, but it's good enough. And I did this sort of quickly, so if I given the time, I could terraform anything you want. But I'll be starting the business at probably next episode or this episode. But anyway, I'm going to go back to the trees. Sorry if my voice is a little different in this clip. I am losing my voice a little. And I am also operating off a very broken computer at the moment. So let's go back over to the trees, and hopefully my computer's fixed by the next clip. It's getting to the point now that most trees I add aren't like immediately noticeable. They're just like a general feel that's getting changed, or it looks more complete, sort of. So I have added this little tree here. It's the little one. I just created this literally on the fly, just to fill this little gap here, to make it feel a bit more dense, so you don't just see emptiness. As you might be able to see behind, I have also added a tree back here, which is a big one like those, just with oak. And I've also put the petaled azalea trees, the flowering azalea, that's the one. There's the leaves for the highest point of those, just to create, it's usually a gradient, but I wanted to create some colour in here. I've been trying to work on a cherry tree that I could add in, but I don't feel it will work very well in this forest. Or in general, it's not very good. I definitely am struggling creating anything with colour. However, I do have another design for a tree, which is like a darker one again, which I'm going to put like here-ish. I've put this dirt piece down so you can see the tree. It'll appear right here. Uses acacia, so it's like a grey log, and then a lot of spruce to create a darker colour. A little bit of azalea at the top to brighten it up. So I'm going to build that one next. And I have a couple more pine trees designed. I'm trying to go to the type of trees here to be the type of trees you'd find in a classical English forest. There's usually pine trees, English oaks, and sometimes willows as well. So I will be building the 2x2 version of that willow tree that I built over there. The 2x2 version I showed earlier in the video. I'll be building that somewhere in this woods, probably a bit deeper in though, once I've got some more of these taller trees. So it doesn't feel as out of place. Probably, like, here's actually a good spot for it. But I won't be doing that till probably next episode, or the next episode I work on the forest. But for right now, I'm getting along with this quite well. Quite happy with it. Really feeling woody. I do have some little foliage designs as well for like little mini things that can go up like in spots like this, for example. And like in here below trees, I could add like a little bit of a thing here, for example, like a little tree, sort of. It's like a bush. And like another bush here and stuff like that. Just to try and fill the ground a bit so it looks a bit more populated depth-wise, but not height-wise, because it gets quite covered with these big trees. I've also got little rocks and stuff that I could populate the ground with as well. Try and like do them on some of the corners as well to make the change up less dramatic. Feels more natural. Secondly, add some rocks to it. I'll probably add the little rocks over there as well. Might add like a bigger boulder over there. It might be cool. I'm not too sure though. Anyway, let's build this tree and then I'll be back. I have added in this little like acacia based tree. It's like a sprucey sort of tree, which has the azalea at the top with some acacia leaves. It's like a little gradient between the two. I think like these look really good as like a little light coming in, hitting the top of this. And then like this darker at the bottom because there's like trees around blocking the light. Which is kind of why the gradients exist on the other trees is because I've got like a lighter area where the light would probably hit it more, then darker with the other leaf. Like you can sort of see that here. Like, these are darker than the jungle above. But I've also added in another tree over here as well. It's the same like branch structure as this one, I think. It's based on a maple tree, but I've done like a bushy one instead. It's like a different type of leaf. It's more like the leaves I've been doing for these. That's more like the leaves I was doing on the willow trees. So I did that one here, and I feel like that's like really nice there because it creates like this sort of archway that brings you down this way, blocks some of the view over there, so it's not like loads of sky. So like up here, there's a bit more coverage as you turn the corner, so you don't immediately see everything. You have to keep walking in to see more. Like you get an eye catcher of all that, so you have to keep walking in to see more. But and it's blocking a lot of the sky, which is empty, obviously, because there's not anything in the sky. So that helps a lot, and it also creates like a bit of a like little gaps as you walk across here. Like this is a nice view, but yeah, it's just adding something else to this. You can barely tell that one in there is even there. Like it's basically hidden by all these trees most of the time, but if you do walk in, there's a lot less sky visible in here now. So that's always nice. Feels more enclosed overall. Anyway, I'm gonna add some rocks and like foliage in here, I guess. Like little bushes. Just try and add something to the ground so it doesn't just look like a bunch of trees. Let's make it overgrown. Probably do. I've got a couple bones because I killed a skeleton just before this, so I'd probably do something like that, and then because it is a woods, I feel like a lot of overgrown, like double tall grass would be very good here. So if I do stuff like that a lot, like that, and maybe that one, shove that one up. I'm trying to avoid flowers like bone and bone mealing because I'd rather go through and place flowers in afterwards to try and get like good positions. I'll leave this a bit lower down actually near the path. But yeah, you probably see what I'm going for. Tall grass, so it seems overgrown. And then I'll also add some rocks and like little bushes as well with like leaves and like little mini trees, like saplings sort of. So I'm gonna go through and do that. The grass is in, and so are little bushes around. These little shrubbery bushes just coming through. Tough, like little small little things. Got one here as well. One here. There's one down here as well. I've only got 4, but it's enough to fill this space slightly that it feels like there's loads of little trees that are coming through and like the little gaps of sky that there are. So I've also added obviously in all the grass, which I've done double tool most of the way through. Obviously there's still the small little ones sometimes, but I've done a lot of double in the middle, so it's like really bushy. And then obviously thinner around the edges like I was saying before, which really makes this area just start to feel a bit nicer. Actually feels a bit more woody, a bit more real. And the grass underneath the trees makes the darkness from the shadows of the trees seem even more. So it seems even denser now in the forest. So it really helps. I always had a bit of leftover bone meal, so I went down that side and added some more in. So this area is slowly coming together really nicely from the city all the way over to here. So now the entire walk from over here has a nice walk through grass all the way there. There's that edge that needs to have some, but I don't want to add that in until I'm absolutely sure of everything on this side, because this bit is probably like the bit I'm more likely to add like a couple trees in, probably some rocks in and stuff as well, just so I can try and keep the views. So I'm not going to add the grass in here till I've added rocks in. But for right now, I'm going to leave the woods as they are, as I am really happy with this area. This has taken around a week and a half to actually do, but I think that's a week and a half well spent. I'm going to go over to the shopping district now, because I've done some designing, and I want to build that business from the task that I picked up earlier this episode. So let's go over there and do that. Alrighty then. I am over here at the shopping district, and I need to decide where to build this thing. It doesn't take up too much space, but I do need flat space to build it on, because I don't want to go down a hill. Obviously it is landscapers, so I could landscape, but I haven't brought any dirt over because I don't want to. So, trying to think of somewhere which would be a good spot. This path will obviously continue down here at some point, so could build it off here. I do some terraforming, shape this in a little bit, and do it down at like this level or so. I mean, this is at that level though. So I guess I bring us all up to this level. I'm sure I could do that quite easily. Maybe. It would take a while, but I could already do that. So let's do that. I've brought a large chunk of the land up to this point now, so I'm just gonna build the thing, and then we'll build the like shop, and then I can terraform afterwards, because then I'll have space in my inventory. So yeah, I'm gonna terraform this all afterwards, because that means I know how far I need to go back and everything. Because I'm not too sure. I can't just eyeball it. So I want to start, like this is the main path that would be coming down. So if this comes to like here-ish or something, I want to start with like a path like coming out this way. So I guess I'll have to do that below. So yeah, I'll be starting with like a path coming this way. I do that, this, and then the classic 3 fence gates with a wall at the end. With a wall at the end. Create the arch. There we go. It's not a very big building, or a very big shop at all. Compared to everything else, it's going to look really small. Because I literally, the main building's made of like trapdoors coming up the side, like that. And then just more trapdoors coming up the other side, like that. Like that's literally the type of building it is. It's like a 6x6 as well, so it's quite small. And that is that section all done now. So the path is in, the bushes are in. So it's like a nice little walk up to the main door. I will put like a tree here with like the cherry and then the azalea leaves, like I did over at the main base. And then I'll put some rock here. But let's build the building first, which is definitely going to overlap this, but that's fine. So I need these and these. Like I need doors. That's the doors. Oh, that's in the wrong spot. That's meant to be a block back. Let's fix that. It needs to be a block back, so it's nice and flush with this door, as you can see now. Looks really nice. It's like the door is part of it. Obviously, I don't want to do a spruce door, because I want you to be able to see through it, just because it creates a bit of a feel to it. And then I need to go 6 back this way. It's 4, 5, 6. Now the back wall doesn't go flush with the side ones because I wanted to be able to actually build inside. Let's build a roof onto this thing now, which is really simple. Just nice iron trapdoors to let light in. And they're horrible to build with. I forgot about that. And then I haven't just used these to let light in. I've also got glass to let light in. So it's a nice light room without windows on the side. It's all skylit. I really hate iron trapdoors. So that's the roof all done. Just place the orders barrel just here. I'm going to get some books to put into this one. It will be like little books you write in about the order, so the other founders can come in here, write an order, sign it, so I can see that I've got an order. I'll also get them to message me, but that's basically the shop. Nice and simple. Let's build the rock and the tree. And the tree and the rock is in. I think this is a really nice area. It's literally just a tree and a rock. But it kind of makes this area seem really nice. I mean, I've left space to the left, and hopefully whoever builds anything to the right will leave a bit of space as well, to make it seem like this is just like a little bit of nature left in the middle of everything. And the owner of whoever owned this was very stubborn, refused to get new, like let them sell the property to bigger stores like this. I think that's really cool. Anyway, I need to terraform, so I need to remove all this dirt and bring it up to a level that is decent. So I have done the terraforming. All of this is now up to the right level. There's the different layers coming down. It all looks good. Doesn't look like it's like not meant to be here. It's always good. So I'm quite happy with it. Obviously this path will be continued to cross at some point by, I'm not even sure, someone does the paths. Unless I'm meant to. I'm not sure. I'm not actually sure what to name the shop actually. So if you've got any suggestions, please put them in the comments below. I would generally really like to hear any suggestions because I have absolutely no clue what to call it. So yeah, this is my little landscaping business. Judd's Landscaping Company. I don't know. I'm terrible when it comes to names. Little pig. I'm back over here at the base, and I have edited the video, and I've realised it's about 50 minutes long. So I am going to end the video here, but we've made a lot of progress this episode. This is absolutely amazing. I've just come back over here after like a couple days without working on it, re-seeing it without keeping it in my mind of me building it, so I actually see it as it is, and I am really happy with this. It feels like really nice. So I am really happy with the progress this episode. But that is going to be all for this episode, as it is 50 minutes long. So thank you for watching this video. See you in the next video. Or a VTubers Mate. I'm not going to throw a punch because I'm going to destroy something. But see you in the next video. Or a VTubers Mate. Goodbye.